Welcome back to Informative Zone, where we break down simple, science-backed health solutions that actually work for real people. If you're over 60 and your feet feel cold no matter how many socks you wear, no matter how high you turn the heat, stay with me. What you're about to hear isn't a trend, a gimmick, or a drug. It's an ancient solution that has quietly helped people for thousands of years, and today you're going to hear exactly how and why it works. Rub this for 2 minutes before bed, and cold feet can stay warm for up to 12 hours straight. That may sound hard to believe, but the story you're about to hear explains everything. Barbara Stevens was 73 years old and exhausted, not tired in the normal sense, but worn down from years of broken sleep, constant discomfort, and pain that most people never see. Every single night, she wore 3 pairs of socks to bed, a thin pair first, then a medium pair, and finally thick wool socks on top. Even then, within an hour, her feet would turn icy cold. The cold wasn't just uncomfortable. It hurt. It caused a deep aching sensation that felt like it was inside the bones of her feet, mixed with a burning feeling on the skin. The pain woke her up 2 or 3 times a night, sometimes 4. Her husband, Tom, stopped cuddling her at night, not because he didn't love her, but because her feet were so cold they felt like ice even through the socks. Barbara said it hurt emotionally as much as it hurt physically. She felt embarrassed, frustrated, and helpless. She tried everything people usually recommend: electric blankets, heating pads, hot water bottles, expensive compression socks, circulation supplements, foot warmers. None of it lasted longer than 30 minutes. As soon as the heat source stopped, the cold came right back. Some nights, she got out of bed at 2 in the morning and stood in a hot shower just to get a short break from the pain. She couldn't sleep. Her quality of life was slipping away, and no one seemed to have a real solution. Doctors ran tests. Her heart was fine. Her blood sugar was normal. Her thyroid was normal. There was no disease to blame. She was told the same thing again and again. Poor circulation is common as you get older. Keep your feet warm. Stay active. That advice didn't help. Then Barbara met Dr. Sandra Serrett. Dr. Serrett had spent decades working with older adults who struggled with circulation problems, especially cold hands and feet. She had seen hundreds of patients like Barbara, people who did everything right and still suffered every night. Dr. Serrett explained something Barbara had never really understood before. The problem wasn't her heart. The problem was the tiny blood vessels in her feet. As we age, those vessels don't dilate the way they used to. Less blood reaches the extremities, and without blood flow, there's no warmth. Barbara had heard this explanation before, but this time something was different. Dr. Serrett mentioned an oil, not a drug, not a supplement, an oil that had been used for thousands of years, including by ancient kings. Frankincense. Barbara thought of the Bible, the gift given to baby Jesus. She assumed it was symbolic, not medical. Dr. Serrett explained that frankincense wasn't just religious. It was medicine in the ancient world, and it was valued more than gold in some cultures because of what it did for the human body. Dr. Serrett wasn't relying on faith or folklore. She was a scientist. She had been studying historical medical texts and modern research, and frankincense kept appearing in treatments for inflammation and circulation. Modern science now knows that frankincense contains compounds called boswellic acids. These compounds have a direct effect on blood vessels. They cause vasodilation, which means they help blood vessels relax and widen. When blood vessels widen, more blood flows through them. More blood means more warmth. Dr. Serrett told Barbara she had recommended this to dozens of patients. Most of them saw a significant improvement. Some said it changed their lives. Barbara was skeptical. She had tried so many things that failed, but she was desperate. Dr. Serrett gave her exact instructions, not a vague suggestion, a precise protocol. Buy 100% pure frankincense essential oil, not fragrance oil, not scented oil. Real therapeutic grade essential oil from the boswellia tree. It costs about $12 to $15 and lasts months. Buy a carrier oil because essential oils are too concentrated to use directly on skin. Jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, or coconut oil all work. Mix 15 drops of frankincense oil with 2 tablespoons of carrier oil. Massage into both feet for 2 full minutes before bed. Cover the tops, bottoms, toes, and ankles. Put on thin cotton socks if you want. Do it every night. Barbara followed the instructions exactly. When the oil arrived, she noticed the smell right away. Woody, earthy, ancient. She mixed the oils, rubbed them into her feet, and waited. Within 5 minutes, she felt warmth spreading. Not burning, not intense. Just a deep, comforting warmth. Her husband touched her foot and was shocked. It was warm. 30 minutes passed. Still warm. An hour passed. Still warm. Then she fell asleep. For the first time in 5 years, Barbara slept through the entire night without waking up from cold feet. When she woke up in the morning, her feet were still warm. 12 hours later, they were still warm. The pain was gone. The burning ache was gone. She cried because she couldn't remember the last time she felt normal. She did it again the next night. Same result. By the end of the week, she stopped wearing multiple pairs of socks. By the end of the month, her circulation tests showed measurable improvement. The nightly warmth wasn't just comfort. It was her body restoring blood flow. Dr. Sarah explained that boswellic acids are fat-soluble. They absorb into the skin and release slowly over many hours. That's why the effect lasts so long. Eating pads warm from the outside. As soon as they're off, the heat disappears. Frankincense works from the inside by improving blood flow. That warmth comes from your own body, which is why it lasts. Barbara began telling friends and family. Nearly everyone who used real frankincense oil saw the same results. The one person who didn't had used fake fragrance oil. Once they switched, it worked. Over time, Barbara noticed her hands were warmer too. Her overall circulation had improved. Her husband even used the oil for arthritis in his hands and felt less stiffness in the morning. Frankincense isn't a cure for severe disease, but for common age-related circulation problems, it works remarkably well. For 5,000 years, different civilizations used frankincense for inflammation, pain, and blood flow. Modern medicine forgot it because it can't be patented. There's no profit in a $14 bottle of oil. But the research exists, and the results are real. If you're over 60 and deal with cold feet that keep you awake at night, this simple nightly ritual could change your life. 2 ingredients, 2 minutes, 12 hours of warmth. Ancient wisdom backed by modern science. This is why we share solutions like this on Informative Zone. Simple, affordable, and effective. Stay healthy, sleep better, and never underestimate the power of something the modern world forgot, but the ancient world understood deeply. As Barbara continued using the frankincense oil night after night, something deeper began to change, something she didn't expect. It wasn't just that her feet felt warm. It was that her entire relationship with sleep, comfort, and her own body started to shift. For years, bedtime had been a source of anxiety. She dreaded the moment her feet touched the sheets, knowing the cold would creep in no matter what she did. Now, bedtime became calm again, predictable, safe. She no longer braced herself for pain. She no longer planned how many times she might wake up. She simply went to sleep. Dr. Sanders Serrett explained that this emotional relief was common. Chronic cold extremities don't just affect the body, they affect the mind. When pain and discomfort interrupt sleep night after night, the nervous system stays on high alert. The body never fully relaxes. That constant stress can worsen circulation even more, creating a vicious cycle. When warmth is restored consistently, the nervous system calms down. Blood vessels respond better. Healing becomes possible. Barbara noticed that during the day, her feet no longer felt numb or stiff. She could walk longer without discomfort. She stopped avoiding cold floors. She didn't rush to put on thick socks every morning. These small changes added up to a noticeable improvement in her daily life. She felt more confident leaving the house. She felt less fragile. It reminded her that aging didn't have to mean constant discomfort. Dr. Serrett often explains cold feet in older adults using a simple analogy. Imagine your blood vessels as flexible garden hoses. When you're young, those hoses expand easily, allowing plenty of water to flow. As you age, inflammation, oxidative stress, and changes in the vessel walls make them stiffer. Less water gets through. In the body, that means less blood reaches the hands and feet. Frankincense helps relax those hoses again, allowing blood to flow where it's needed most. One reason frankincense works so well topically is because the skin on the feet is rich in blood vessels and nerve endings. When you massage the oil into the feet, you're not just applying a substance. You're stimulating circulation mechanically through touch, while the boswellic acids work chemically to reduce inflammation and improve vessel function. This combination makes the effect stronger and longer lasting. Dr. Serrett emphasizes that consistency matters. One application can bring warmth for hours, but repeated nightly use creates cumulative benefits. Over time, reduced inflammation and improved endothelial function allow blood vessels to respond better even without the oil. That's why some people notice warmer feet during the day after several weeks. The body is relearning how to regulate blood flow properly. Barbara's follow-up visit with Dr. Serrett confirmed this. The Doppler ultrasound showed improved blood flow velocity in her lower extremities. This wasn't subjective. It wasn't just how she felt. It was measurable. Dr. Serrett explained that many medications aim to achieve similar results but often come with side effects. Frankincense, when used correctly and diluted properly, is gentle and well tolerated for most people. That doesn't mean it should be used carelessly. Dr. Serrett always reminds patients to do a small skin test first to make sure there's no sensitivity. Essential oils are powerful. That's why dilution with a carrier oil is critical. Applied correctly, frankincense is safe for long-term use in most older adults. Barbara asked why she had never heard about this before. Dr. Serrett gave an honest answer. Modern medicine is excellent at treating emergencies and acute illness. It is less focused on simple, low-cost solutions that can't be patented or marketed aggressively. Research into natural compounds exists, but often stays in academic journals or in countries where integrative medicine is more widely accepted. Frankincense has been studied extensively outside the United States. Research from India, Germany, and the Middle East has documented its anti-inflammatory and circulation-enhancing effects. Boswellic acids inhibit specific inflammatory pathways that contribute to vessel stiffness. They also support nitric oxide production, which signals blood vessels to relax. These mechanisms are well understood in vascular science. Dr. Serrett believes that older adults deserve access to this information, not as an alternative to medical care, but as a complement. She encourages patients to talk with their doctors, especially if they have conditions like diabetes or vascular disease. Frankincense is not a cure for advanced illness, but it can improve comfort and quality of life significantly. Barbara became something of an ambassador for the oil. She shared the protocol carefully, always emphasizing the importance of using real essential oil. She showed people the label to look for: Boswellia carterii, Boswellia sacra, or Boswellia serrata. 100% pure essential oil. Nothing else. She warned them not to be fooled by cheap fragrance oils that only mimic the smell. Her sister tried it first, then her neighbor, then a friend from her walking group. Most reported warmer feet within the first night. Some said it took a few days. Everyone noticed improved sleep. One woman said she stopped needing a space heater by her bed. Another said her restless legs improved because her feet no longer felt painfully cold. Dr. Serrett wasn't surprised. Poor circulation often overlaps with other discomforts. When blood flow improves, nerves receive better oxygen and nutrients that can reduce tingling, burning, and restlessness. While frankincense doesn't cure neuropathy, it can reduce the inflammatory component that makes symptoms worse. Barbara's husband, Tom, continued using the oil on his hands. He noticed less stiffness when gripping objects in the morning. He joked that the house now smelled like an ancient temple every night, but neither of them minded. The scent became comforting, a signal that bedtime meant warmth and rest instead of discomfort. The ritual itself became meaningful. Sitting on the edge of the bed, taking 2 minutes to massage her feet, breathing in the scent, slowing down. Dr. Serrett explained that rituals like this support parasympathetic nervous system activation. In simple terms, they tell the body it's safe to rest. That alone can improve sleep quality, independent of the oil's chemical effects. Barbara reflected on how something so simple had been missing for so long. She had assumed that suffering was just part of aging. Dr. Serrett challenged that belief. Aging brings changes, but it doesn't automatically mean pain, cold, or sleepless nights. Often, the body just needs the right support. As weeks turned into months, Barbara reduced how often she needed thick socks even during winter. She still used the oil nightly because it worked and cost so little. $7 a month felt insignificant compared to the relief it brought. She stopped buying gadgets and supplements that promised miracles and delivered nothing. Dr. Serrett continued collecting informal data from her patients. She tracked outcomes, sleep quality, and comfort levels. The pattern remained consistent. Those who followed the protocol correctly experienced meaningful improvement. Those who skipped dilution or used fake oils did not. Education made all the difference. This is why Informative Zone shares stories like Barbara's, not to sell a product, but to share knowledge. Solutions don't always come in expensive packaging. Sometimes they come from history, supported quietly by science, waiting to be rediscovered. If you're listening and thinking this sounds too simple, that's understandable. Barbara thought the same thing. But simple doesn't mean ineffective. In many cases, it means a solution works with the body instead of against it. It means supporting natural processes instead of overriding them. Cold feet in older adults are often a signal, not a flaw. A signal that circulation needs help. Frankincense offers that help gently, consistently, and affordably. It doesn't force heat into the body. It invites blood flow back where it belongs. As Dr. Serrett often says, warmth that comes from within lasts longer than warmth applied from the outside. That principle guided ancient healers, and it still holds true today. Barbara's story is one example, but it represents thousands of similar experiences. In the next part, we'll go deeper into the science behind why aging affects circulation the way it does, and how simple nightly habits can support vascular health over time. Understanding what's happening inside your body empowers you to make better choices and regain comfort you may have thought was gone forever. As Dr. Serrett continued working with older adults, she noticed a pattern that went far beyond cold feet alone. Many of her patients described symptoms that seemed unrelated on the surface but shared the same root cause. Cold feet, cold hands, nighttime cramps, tingling sensations, aching joints, restless legs, and even difficulty falling asleep often trace back to one central issue: reduced circulation combined with chronic, low-grade inflammation. Aging didn't suddenly create these problems. It slowly weakened the systems that once kept blood flowing smoothly. She explained to Barbara that blood flow isn't just about the heart pumping harder. In fact, the heart can be perfectly healthy while circulation to the extremities still declines. The real issue lies in the health of the blood vessel walls. Over time, inflammation damages the delicate inner lining of the vessels, known as the endothelium. When the endothelium doesn't function properly, blood vessels lose their ability to expand and contract as needed. They become stiff, narrow, and unresponsive. This stiffness is why external heat often fails. Heating pads, hot water bottles, and electric blankets only warm the skin temporarily. They don't change how blood moves. Once the heat source is removed, the body returns to its baseline state, and the cold comes back. Frankincense works differently because it addresses the vessel itself. It supports the mechanisms that allow blood to reach the feet in the first place. Dr. Serrett explained that boswellic acids reduce specific inflammatory enzymes that are known to contribute to vascular dysfunction. These enzymes, when overactive, cause blood vessels to constrict. By calming this inflammatory response, frankincense helps restore balance. Blood vessels become more responsive. They open when they should, close when they should, and deliver warmth naturally. Barbara found it fascinating that ancient civilizations understood this without microscopes or lab tests. Egyptians, Indians, Chinese healers, and Middle Eastern physicians all used frankincense in different ways, yet reached similar conclusions. It reduced pain. It improved circulation. It supported healing. These cultures didn't share information easily, yet they all valued the same resin for the same reasons. Modern science now explains what ancient observation confirmed. The human body responds predictably to certain compounds. Boswellic acids are among those compounds. They interact with inflammatory pathways and vascular signaling in ways that are now measurable and repeatable. This isn't magic. It's biochemistry. Dr. Serrett often reminds patients that the feet are especially vulnerable to circulation problems. They are farthest from the heart and rely on strong vessel function to stay warm. Gravity also works against them, especially when sitting or lying down for long periods. At night, when movement stops, blood flow slows even more. That's why cold feet are often worse at bedtime. Applying frankincense oil before bed takes advantage of this timing. The oil begins working as circulation naturally slows, preventing the dramatic drop in warmth that many seniors experience. Instead of reacting to cold after it happens, the body is supported in advance. Blood flow remains steady. Warmth is maintained. Barbara asked whether exercise alone could solve the problem. Dr. Serrett explained that movement absolutely helps, but it isn't always enough. Many older adults walk daily and still have cold feet at night. Exercise improves overall circulation, but it doesn't fully reverse vessel stiffness caused by years of inflammation. Supporting the vessels directly makes a difference. Another important factor Dr. Serrett discussed was nerve sensitivity. Cold feet often feel more painful in older adults because nerves become more sensitive when blood flow is reduced. Nerves rely on oxygen and nutrients delivered by blood. When supply drops, nerves misfire, creating burning, aching, or stabbing sensations. Improving circulation calms those nerves. That's why warmth from frankincense often brings pain relief, not just comfort. Barbara noticed this clearly. The burning sensation she once felt wasn't just gone. Her feet felt relaxed, calm, normal. She realized that she'd been clenching her feet unconsciously for years, bracing against cold and pain. Now, that tension melted away. Dr. Serrett cautioned that frankincense should never be seen as a replacement for medical care. Conditions like advanced diabetes, severe peripheral artery disease, or infected wounds require professional treatment. But for the millions of older adults who fall into the gray area, not severely ill but chronically uncomfortable, frankincense offers meaningful support. She also emphasized that quality matters. The effectiveness of frankincense depends entirely on its purity. True essential oil is distilled from resin harvested carefully from mature boswellia trees. This process preserves the boswellic acids. Synthetic oils and fragrance oils contain none of these compounds. They may smell similar, but biologically they do nothing. Barbara learned to recognize the difference. Real frankincense oil had depth to its scent. It wasn't sharp or artificial. It felt grounding. She found that taking a moment to inhale the scent during application relaxed her breathing. Dr. Serrett explained that frankincense has been shown to influence the limbic system, the part of the brain involved in emotion and stress. Reduced stress further supports circulation by lowering sympathetic nervous system activity. Everything was connected. Blood flow, nerves, stress, sleep. Fixing one piece helped the others. Barbara's sleep improved not just because her feet were warm, but because her body no longer stayed in a low-level state of alarm all night. She woke up feeling rested, something she hadn't experienced in years. As her energy improved, Barbara became more active during the day. She walked more. She stretched. She engaged socially again. This increased activity further supported circulation, creating a positive feedback loop. Dr. Serrett explained that this is how true healing often works. Small changes compound over time. Barbara also learned that hydration played a role. Blood flows more easily when the body is well hydrated. Dr. Serrett encouraged patients to drink enough water throughout the day, especially in colder months when thirst cues are weaker. While hydration alone wouldn't solve cold feet, it supported the overall effect. Foot massage itself was another underestimated factor. Even without oil, massage stimulates blood flow. Combined with frankincense, the effect is amplified. Dr. Serrett encouraged patients to take their time. 2 full minutes mattered. Rushing reduced the benefit. Presence mattered as much as the substance. Barbara shared this insight with others. She told them not to treat it like a chore. Treat it like care, like maintenance, like brushing your teeth. But for circulation, this mindset helped people stick with the habit long enough to see results. Over several months, Dr. Serrett noticed that patients who adopted this ritual consistently reported fewer nighttime awakenings overall. Even those without severe cold feet slept better. Warm extremities signal safety to the brain. When the body feels warm and supported, it allows deeper sleep cycles. Barbara often reflected on how much money she had spent over the years trying to solve the problem. Heated socks, electric foot warmers, supplements promising better circulation. None of them addressed the underlying issue. Frankincense did, quietly and effectively. She also appreciated that the solution didn't make her dependent on a device. There was no cord, no battery, no maintenance, just a small bottle of oil and a few minutes each night. It gave her a sense of independence she hadn't realized she'd lost. Dr. Serrett believes that many seniors underestimate how much control they still have over their comfort. Aging can make people feel powerless. Solutions like this remind them that the body still responds when given the right signals. Barbara's story continued to spread, but Dr. Serrett always reminded her to share responsibly. No exaggerated claims, no promises, just her experience and the science behind it. That honesty built trust. People appreciated a solution that didn't oversell itself. This approach aligns with what Informative Zone stands for. Sharing grounded, practical knowledge that empowers people without fear or hype. Health doesn't always require complexity. Sometimes it requires remembering what worked long before modern systems made things complicated. As Barbara approached her 74th birthday, she realized something important. The fear she once felt around aging had softened. She no longer equated getting older with inevitable decline. Warm feet at night seemed small, but they represented something larger. The idea that comfort, rest, and dignity are still possible at any age. In the final part, we'll bring everything together. We'll review the simple nightly ritual, the reasons it works, and how you can decide if it's right for you. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring comfort and sleep, two things every person deserves, regardless of age. As everything came together, Dr. Serrett always returned to one core message for her patients. Comfort is not a luxury. Warmth is not optional. Sleep is not something you should have earned by enduring pain. These are basic needs, and when they're disrupted, health begins to erode quietly over time. Cold feet may seem like a small issue, but as Barbara's experience showed, they can affect nearly every part of daily life. Dr. Serrett encouraged people to think of circulation as communication. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and signals that tell tissues how to function. When that communication weakens, tissues suffer, muscles ache, nerves misfire, skin becomes sensitive, sleep fragments, restlessness increases. Restoring circulation restores communication, and that changes how the body feels and functions. The nightly frankincense ritual worked because it addressed several layers at once. The massage stimulated blood flow mechanically. The boswellic acids reduced inflammation chemically. The scent calmed the nervous system neurologically. The routine itself created psychological safety. Together, these effects supported the body's natural ability to regulate temperature and repair itself during sleep. Barbara appreciated that nothing about the process felt extreme. There was no pressure to push through discomfort, no side effects to manage, no complex schedule to follow. Just a simple, repeatable action that fit naturally into her evening routine. That simplicity made it sustainable, which is why it worked long-term. Dr. Serrett often pointed out that the body responds best to consistency, not intensity. Small actions done regularly create lasting change. Many people try aggressive solutions briefly and then give up when they don't work immediately. Frankincense rewarded patience. While some felt warm the first night, others noticed gradual improvement over several days. Both responses were normal. Barbara learned to listen to her body again. On colder nights, she took a little extra time with the massage. On warmer nights, she still applied the oil because it supported circulation regardless of temperature. She stopped chasing quick fixes and started trusting a steady process. Friends who adopted the ritual noticed other subtle changes. Some reported fewer nighttime leg cramps. Others noticed less stiffness when getting out of bed in the morning. While frankincense was not marketed as a solution for these issues, Dr. Sarah explained that improved circulation often brings secondary benefits. When tissues receive adequate blood flow, they function better overall. Dr. Sarah was careful to maintain realistic expectations. She reminded patients that frankincense supports the body, but it does not override serious medical conditions. Anyone with open wounds, severe vascular disease, or uncontrolled diabetes needed medical supervision. The oil was a tool, not a replacement for care. Education remained central to her approach. She taught patients how to read labels, how to dilute oils properly, and how to recognize quality. Empowered patients made better choices and experienced better outcomes. Barbara found satisfaction in sharing this knowledge responsibly. The historical context of frankincense continued to fascinate her. The idea that ancient cultures valued this resin so highly made sense now. They may not have had modern terminology, but they understood the results. Warmth, reduced pain, improved mobility, better rest. These outcomes mattered then, just as they matter now. Barbara reflected on how modern life sometimes disconnects people from simple solutions. Convenience often replaces effectiveness. Technology replaces touch. Frankincense reintroduced both. The act of massaging her own feet reminded her to care for herself gently, something she had neglected while focusing on others for much of her life. Dr. Sarah believes that self-care rituals are especially important for older adults. They reinforce autonomy and self-awareness. When people feel capable of improving their own comfort, their confidence grows. That confidence encourages movement, engagement, and resilience. Barbara noticed that her mood improved alongside her sleep. She felt less irritable, more patient, more present. Dr. Sarah explained that sleep quality has a profound effect on emotional regulation. When sleep improves, everything else feels more manageable. Over time, Barbara stopped introducing herself as someone with always cold feet. That identity faded. She no longer planned her evenings around managing discomfort. She simply lived them. That shift, though subtle, felt liberating. The cost remained a point of gratitude. In a world where health solutions often come with high price tags, frankincense remained accessible. A few dollars a month brought relief that years of spending had not. Dr. Sarah wished more people knew that affordability and effectiveness are not mutually exclusive. She also emphasized that frankincense should be sourced ethically whenever possible. Sustainable harvesting protects boswellia trees and ensures future availability. Quality suppliers often provide information about sourcing and distillation. Supporting those practices align with the respect ancient cultures showed for this resin. Barbara's story reached people she never expected. Friends of friends, relatives of neighbors. Each story carried the same theme. Relief didn't require suffering first. It required understanding. For viewers of Informative Zone, this message matters. Health information can feel overwhelming. Conflicting advice, expensive solutions, and fear-based messaging dominate many conversations. Stories like Barbara's offer something different. Calm, clarity, practical guidance grounded in experience and science. If you are over 60 and struggle with cold feet, consider what this ritual represents. It is not just about warmth. It is about restoring a sense of ease at the end of the day. It is about signaling to your body that rest is safe and supported. The protocol remains simple. 100% pure frankincense essential oil. A carrier oil like coconut, jojoba, or sweet almond. 15 drops mixed into 2 tablespoons. Massage into clean feet for 2 minutes before bed. Thin cotton socks if desired. Consistency over time. No hype, no exaggeration. Just a method that has supported circulation for thousands of years and continues to do so quietly today. Barbara now sleeps through the night. She wakes up without dread. She enjoys mornings again. These changes did not come from pushing harder or spending more. They came from aligning with how the body naturally works. Dr. Sarah continues her work, sharing this knowledge one patient at a time. She believes that medicine should not only treat disease but also restore comfort. Sometimes that means looking backward to move forward. As we close, remember that aging does not erase your body's ability to respond. It changes how support is needed. Warmth that comes from within lasts longer. Circulation supported gently works better. Care given consistently compounds. This is why we share insights like this on Informative Zone. Because simple, respectful solutions deserve a voice. If this information helps even one person sleep better tonight, it has done its job. Your comfort matters. Your sleep matters. And sometimes, the answer's been waiting quietly for 5,000 years.